In an interview by Facts First about the Philippine ambassador to US Ambassador Babe Romaindez, the ambassador said that there are efforts to acquire used F-16 fighter Falcons because the Philippines cannot afford new F-16 Block 70 Vipers. A squadron of 12 aircraft is being eyed as an initial purchase, but a total of at least 30 eyed in the near future. He also said that the US is urging the Philippines to acquire second-hand F-16s from third parties. But before this, the Philippines needs to change its government procurement law to allow the purchase of second-hand modern weapons systems and not limit purchases to only brand new. Previously, the Philippines was able to acquire second-hand weapons systems because it avoided the purchasing system because the platforms were actually donated, and the costs involved were for repairs, improvements to these donated weapon systems that were permitted in the purchasing law. In this case, the offering from the third-party source will not involve a free platform, but rather will be an updated and improved platform that is ready to use upon delivery. The question now is, why is the US offering to help us acquire F-16s from a third party when F-16s are available that can be transferred as surplus defense articles? It turns out the US is still offering their own F-16s, but as a medium-term plan, as it will take a while to upgrade their F-16s to a level similar to Block 50-50 or Block 70-72. Meanwhile, third-party plans are a much quicker option, but involve older airframes, as they could be the F-16A, B Block 15 MLU against Falcon of Norway, etc., which were updated in the mid-1990s to have similar capabilities to F-16C, D Block 55,050 model, or Israeli F-16A, B Block 10 nets, which was upgraded to F-16C, D standard, except that the engine still used the less powerful Pratt & Whitney F-100 PW200. Note that although all these plans are separate from plans to get 12 to 14 new multi-role fighters, it is most likely the Saab JAS 39C D Gripen that is still on the table despite all this talk on F-16s. If all of these plans go ahead, it appears the plan would now be to get new JAS 39C D Gripens from Sweden, 12 F-16A, B Block 15 MLU or F-16A, B Block 10 nets from NATO or Israel, and at least 2 more squadrons. Many of the F-16C Ds have been upgraded to Block 50-50 or 70-72 from the US. The Philippine Air Force sent pilots from the 5th Fighter Wing to the Joint Base Andrews in Washington, D.C. to have familiarization with the 113th Fighter Wing US Air National Guard's F-16C D Fighting Falcons. I won't go sideways, over and under with this. This is one of the major reasons why the Philippine Air Force and even major officials of the DND has been swayed into going for the Lockheed Martin F-16C D offer for the PAF's multi-role fighter project. This demonstrates the US commitment to help train and sustain any future PAF F-16 fleet, and demonstrates the importance of commonality and interoperability between the allies. The US has also offered something else to support the PAF should it select the Viper. Who knows, the 113th Fighter Wing might even be the one assisting the PAF in the transition. We received word from several sources that the push forward on the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, EDCA, between the US and Philippine Defense Departments have bolstered efforts to gain support and influence to support the selection of the Lockheed Martin F-16 Block 70 Viper. The EDCA is said to help make it easier for the US to support F-16 operations and sustainment of the Philippines, since it is their country's product, and their own supply chain supports F-16s and its subsystems. The US cannot provide any support for the JAS-39 Gripen except for emergency requirements for ammunition, since the Gripen is not in service with the US military, and has subsystems that are not even in the US military's own supply chains. Also, EDCA may be a backdoor for the US to reduce the overall cost of the F-16 Viper, since many of the items included in the overall package that push the Viper's price beyond the PAF's budget could be provided by the US separately or procured separately by the Philippines through mechanisms under EDCA. According to our sources within the circle of prey, Marcos, there are indeed people close to the president, as well as lawmakers and people with influence that are advising prey Marcos to negotiate with the US as part of improving military ties and as deterrence to China, to get the Vipers plus several earlier versions of the F-16C D Fighting Falcon as interim, while new builds are still under construction as part of a friendly and more affordable package that includes foreign military financing option.